Alright, I'm back. I got cut off on the last video. So, I'm going to do episode 18, but I wanted to round out what I was saying on the last video before I got cut off, is that those of us, and I include myself, and I get called out on my behavior by the Holy Spirit at all times. So that's another reason why I don't need to be judged by anybody else, because the Holy Spirit does it, to me first. And I appreciate, the Lord for that level of admonition, so that, I could be corrected. Yeah. And that's another thing that I encourage you guys. I don't know if it's the Proverbs 3. I encourage you just to go read the whole chapter. It's really beneficial, because it's another way we're going to be able to figure out how to circumvent the system that we're all trapped in. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about episode 18. Where are we? Looking at my little timeline here. So Wolves Sanctuary, and then the people are coming back from the retreat. And so Chloe is telling Michael that she is kind of like, she's worn down from all the activity, getting married, going on a honeymoon, coming back from the honeymoon, going to his apartment, going to her apartment, bringing a few things, then packing, and then going to the couples retreat. I could see that whole thing being a whirlwind and an entire whole lot. And it's not the same kind of experience that some of the other couples, have experienced. This is kind of crammed in. And they're already behind the other couples. So it's almost like they have to do a measure of catch up. So I really do, feel her hesitancy and her just need to be by herself. I also was concerned because I think that I, like a lot of people, just really feel Michael's pain, and I don't want to see him being rejected, because I know what rejection feels like, especially from the opposite sex. And Michael seems like he really, really appreciates womanhood. And I always want to be able to keep that kind of man connected. He's an important ally, in the struggle. And so I just want to be able to just communicate that about him, and my appreciation for a man who loves his feminine side. I mean, I say that because, as I've talked about, and I'm sure in these videos somewhere, and I know him on my other channel, that being in the military really connected me to my masculine side. So
married at first sight.
I totally understand where Michael is, and that's another reason why when he tells me that he's heterosexual, that he understands what he's talking about, and I trust what he has to say, about it. So I don't know how. It's my fingers are moving. Okay. So she tells Michael she needs to take a break. I think that it has affected him, and he gives her grace and say, okay, this is him trusting her, that she's telling him exactly what she needs. And I really appreciate that level of faith, that he's putting out there, because with everything that he's been through, I know that it has to potentiate. So if I'm feeling it, and I'm nowhere near him, I'm nowhere in that situation. So if I feel it, then I know he gets it, even more. So it's nice later that he says that he's glad that it worked out, which I am too. So she did end up coming back. So they have the pets together. Everybody is getting along, and then they're getting ready for their housewarming, party, with their friends. And so we're seeing glimpses of Emily and Brennan where he's, taking care of her, which I really, honestly appreciate. And it's really sad for me that Brennan doesn't understand that this is the Brennan that she wanted to see through the entire marriage. For whatever reason, Brennan decided that he didn't want to be that Brennan. And then when she hit the tree, that's when that Brennan showed up. And he's going to have to take accountability, for that. And so it really pains me when I hear men always want to be patted on their back for their accomplishments, and as they should. My thing is, you still have to be able to accept your shortcomings at the same time. So that is where the humility, comes in. And when you have ego versus humility, then they don't like each other. Those are two chemicals that you're putting together that are volatile, and they have it's a combustion that happens when you bring them, together. It turns into poison. So instead of being a beneficial thing, it turns into poison. But you can actually bring two poisons together to benefit. And that's one thing in chemistry I never forgot. So by itself, sodium and chlorine are both deadly. They are poisonous. But for some reason, when you put them together, then they make salt. And it makes food, actually give it flavor, and it tastes good. So whoever came up with that and thought about that and gave us that gift, I sure do appreciate that. And where are we? Since I got on the tangent talking about salt. So where are we? Becca and Austin. Oh, they meeting up with the experts. And I'm really, glad. I was really appreciative that Becca is she's saying she's starting to find her voice. Because she feels like Austin is kind of feeling blindsided because she is starting to communicate some of her dissatisfaction, with him on another level. It's not just surface. She's actually saying he's different on camera than he is off camera. We'll be on camera and I'll hear him saying all these words. And then once the cameras are off, he's not matching said words with actions. And she hadn't been saying that, previously. Emily's been saying that about Brennan, but we haven't heard that from Becca. And so she's coming from the wolf sanctuary, and she's saying that they got into an argument because he's just now telling her that he's questioning whether or not that they're going to be compatible. And she's feeling, blindsided. And she feels like it's coming from an incident where they were coming out of the wolf sanctuary, and Austin was buying some stuff out of the gift shop. And the clerk was like, well, you need a bag? And she stepped up and said, no, he didn't need a bag. But he actually really wanted a bag. So instead of him just telling her, I really want a bag, he didn't say anything. But then he did say something when he started muttering under his breath. That's when it's better for you just to go ahead and tell the truth. Be like, I really do want a bag. Just get a bag. And if that's something that offends her, then that's going to be on her. It won't be on him. But because he didn't say anything, and then he wants to start muttering and then acting out his displeasure, then that's when the responsibility, falls on him. So this is what I'm encouraging you guys, to start looking at, and myself, as well, when we're having conversations, with people. If we're not being clear, and when you're being clear, just because you're telling somebody the truth, it doesn't really give you permission just to be mean and nasty. If you need to be clear with people, even if it's gonna break up your friendship, I'd rather break up my friendship having told somebody the truth than to keep it and then help them, live in a lie. Because nobody's let me live in any of my lies. I'm not going to do that, with other people, especially people, that I consider to be my friend. If anything, you'll look back and you'll say that people tried to tell you the truth. There was somebody in your life that actually tried to tell you the truth at a vital time, and you weren't able, to hear the message. But, that's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to be a good friend and to, tell the truth, whether you receive, the message or not. And to give the message in a way that I hope that you'd be able, to appreciate, understand. So, I liked that Becca kind of stood up for herself and was like, she didn't want him to be on her, laying on her, when he was trying to, do that. Well, can I lay with you? That's like one of those on camera things, that I kind of saw. When they're not on camera, he's not asking that. And now that they are, now he wants to, present himself as if someone who wants to connect. And it's like, see, I tried to connect with her, and then she didn't want me to. So, the child, I'm not about the mind games and the gaslighting. That's what I should have put in the title. So, I did appreciate the conversation that Cal and Pepper, had for these two. And I liked, again, Becca's pushback in that she's saying she doesn't see his effort. And this is where I have the conflict within myself. Because they'll be saying, like, Dr. Pepper was like, what did she say? She said, she told Becca that she saw, no, she told both of them that she saw Austin's try, and she saw Becca's distrust, of what he's presenting to her. But then on this episode that I'm getting ready to upload, Becca's like, I tried and he tried and we all tried. No, because she was mad at Dr. Pepper. She was like, well, why are you saying that he's trying when he's not trying? So we go from one episode to the next. Either he's not trying or he is trying, Becca. I can't discern. I cannot discern what is happening if you're not clear and consistent on what you're saying about him. Okay? Just because he is not attracted to you doesn't make him a bad person. If he's not a good person to you, that makes him a bad person. It doesn't have anything to do with attraction to be a good person, to somebody. And we always, want to treat people with dignity, and respect, regardless, of level of attraction. And that actually really goes a long way. I've had to prove that, to people who think I'm trying to hit on them. And I'm not trying to hit on you just because I compliment you, doesn't mean I'm trying to hit on you. And I have to prove that I can still talk to you the same way, whether or not you think I'm attracted to you or not. I'm not offended. If you're offended by something that I've done and I haven't done anything intentionally offensive, to you, then that's going to be your offense. I'm not going to be offended because I didn't do anything that I thought, was offensive. Especially if I'm trying to help you, So, yeah. I mean, that's just the way that I'm just trying to learn how to treat people. Because, we have to realize that this kind of society, that we're living in. It's a distrustful society. It's a society that is hyped on war, hyped on revenge, hyped on colonialism. So any display of kindness and brotherhood or sisterhood can immediately be met with suspicion. And I'm sorry to say, that we're here in this society and we're looking at it. We're looking at a stupid person like Orion who has clearly demonstrated why he needed to be on the show. He has no ability to be able to form relationships by himself. He's on a show with people to help him through this process, and he just takes a match to it and pours gasoline on it and just lights everything on fire because he's inside of his feelings. But then he thinks he's superior to a woman and doesn't want to listen to a woman and didn't want to whatever he said to her dad. He doesn't want to be, bossed around, by a woman. Well, look at what that attitude has presented him. It's given him an opportunity to know a wonderful woman and have her as his wife. And he just took it and wiped his butt with it because of his skewed, emotional, thinking. Just really crazy. I mean, we live in a crazy town. So, Becca, I think that they give Becca and Austin the opportunity to really kind of reset. It's kind of like what Pia was saying to them, that they need to, do something with their expectations, of each other. And just sit and listen to where the other one is coming from instead of trying to make the way that you were seeing it the right way to see a situation. Because just because that's the way that you actually saw it, which is legitimate, doesn't mean that it's the only way to see that situation. And then when you actually look at it from another person's perspective, you can say, oh, wow, I didn't see it that way. Thank you for giving me, the opportunity for that. So when you're in your future communications, this is not something that's foreign, to you. And, it's something that is not like a cultural norm. Like, we're supposed to say please and thank you. You understand? That's a cultural norm that's embedded, that's supposed to be embedded, inside of us. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things that you may have grown up with, but that other people may not have grown up with, and that have that bridge where just because that's the way that you think you were raised doesn't mean that it is the only and correct right way, to do something. And you give that level of grace and buoyancy, to another person's, perspective. And I don't see a lot of that happening in this show. So, where is it? Chloe is talking to her friend, Cesar, and she's telling him about where she is on her journey so far with Michael. And he asks a really important question, I think, is that Michael is he's very competent in his words, that it is suspicious in a world where people don't use their words properly. So it's a gift and a curse at the same time. And I can see the level of suspicion that Cesar would have. And I appreciate Chloe's answer that he has given her a reason to doubt what he's saying. And until he does, she's going to give him that latitude, to just show her, if his words and actions are actually, compatible and congruent, with one another. So I actually did, like that. And so Emily is getting her stitches out, and then Becca and Austin are at the little hot tub And I said her sock, but I agree with some of the other people that she got a tattoo and she didn't want the tattoo to get wet. So, still weird at the same time. Emily is appreciating Brennan's support through this time, with her. They were saying that if she hadn't had that helmet on, that she actually, could have died. So Brennan is taking care of all the chores, making sure she's fed, and being that level of husband. You can tell that he's not used to doing that kind of stuff. You can tell that he's not used to doing that kind of stuff because he emptied the mop bucket out in the sink. Yeah, that's either a toilet. It's a toilet action because you don't even want to put that in your tub only because it clogs out. If you have like whatever that can clog up and get in your, you want to keep just water going through your tub. And anything you can flush down the toilet, then make sure that you use that, for that. So yeah, the fact that he did that just kind of shows interesting. Emily is really astounded that it took her hitting a tree for her to get this out of him. And I understand, her consternation, about that. So Michael and Chloe, they're having their party. Chloe lets people know where she is in the process and the work that is taken, for her. And then they separate, and she talks to his friends, and they tell her to make sure that she holds his feet to the fire. Don't let him just placate, her, and try to be nice just to be nice. That he's doing it because it's something that's genuine and he's not people pleasing. That's what the word. And she says that she's in recovery, and I understand her point. I'm in recovery too, and that's another reason why I have to set boundaries, with people. And if they cross it, then I have to respond because I've often just let people get away with where I think my boundaries are because I've been trying to be that level of understanding. But my health, my mental health, as well as my overall physical health will always be more important to me than your feelings or anything. I'm not Jesus. He sacrificed everything, He put himself on the cross. The cross that I'm willing to go on has a boundary, and what I will or will not accept is insanity and craziness and disrespect. And anybody who's been hanging with me, child, y'all already know how I feel about being disrespected. Okay, and I'm gonna leave it right there. So, where are we? So Cameron is talking, and I thought that Michael did a good job, with her friends, as well. I liked Michael's friends encouraging Chloe and their conversation, and I appreciated Chloe's friends asking Michael questions and his answer and delivery, to that. So, who is it? I want to say Emily, but it's not. It's Claire. Claire is talking with her mom, and Brennan and Cameron are talking to each other. And Cameron surprises everybody. He surprised me when he said that if she wants to stay together on decision day, that he'll stay together with her on decision day. I was shocked. I don't know why he would, but Claire doesn't see them as husband and wife. She only sees them as friends. So he doesn't have to worry about that. And he was saying how he understands that she wants to help, but he doesn't need the kind of help that she would be able to offer because it's not like he can't clean himself and feed himself. He just has to be careful to make sure that his heart rate is at a certain point. And he really doesn't need her for any physical, kind of thing. But it's nice to know that they're actually communicating, with each other. And he's saying that he has heard her growth and how she's using this opportunity to reset her way of thinking. And she kind of wants to know where he is and his level of growth. And he's saying that they're on different planes. And he doesn't know if she understands that. So, Michael and Chloe are at the boxing gym. She's impressed. He's impressed with her stick-to-itiveness and try and willingness to do something, that's really important, for him. And so Emily and Brennan are talking to the experts, and they're all just really giving her their perceptions of when they found out, about the accident. And so I thought that Emily was really giving Brennan a lot of credit, really being supportive and giving him affirmation that what he did was a big deal and that, she really appreciates it. So I think that I made it to the end of this video, and I'm going to start loading up the one that played last night. I'll do that after. Give me, a few hours, and I'll start putting it up. So anybody that has made it this far, this is going to be the end of episode 18. And I appreciate your time and attention. And I'll talk to you in the next video. Anybody who is staying with me, I just kind of want to just continue this conversation about money. I'm going to reiterate, some things. Like I talked to you guys about coming off the gold standard. I've talked to you about the Bretton Woods information. And I've talked to you about BRICS. And that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And now they have a few more countries that they've added on that I can't remember off the top of my head. But I see a new monetary order that's going to be set. And it's not going to be favorable to the United States. And that's another reason why we're so militant. It's because we're protecting our financial interests. If you actually go and you look at the foundational definition of fascism, it's the collusion between government and corporations. So government, ours, America, has tied us to the corporate dollar. And that is who our military, that's what our military is fighting for. It's not fighting for freedom. It's not fighting for democracy. The military fights to protect capitalism. And so there's a soldier, apparently this is the second person, who they say immolated. That's when you set yourself on fire or you do something, I have to look up the definition. I'll put it down there so we'll all know, what it means. But that's what the news sites are saying that action that he did is called. Is immolating. And so I saw, and I put that, I either posted or put it down. I put the information up where it said that he's gotten information, where he had information that there are actually U.S. troops fighting in Gaza. And if that is true, that is just the biggest stain. It's a stain that you can't wash off. Even the blood of Jesus can't wash that off. Yeah. I mean, it's going to take some real confession for you to get that scrub free. I ain't lying, child. Oh my goodness. I just can't see it. But maybe that's just my vision, you know, up to this point. It would take some soul searching and serious confession to even start to get that stain wiped off. Yeah, Ajax ain't gonna get that. Clorox won't do it either. So where are we? I was saying for people to read Proverbs 3 in that last video too. Well, I was trying to. I don't know if it made it on the video. Because I see it as a way for us to take their rules and actually turn it around for our benefit. So that's the way that I'm trying to see how to not just play the game, but actually win it, you know, at the same time. And so with the money, I've also talked about how biblically God hates money, and how our idolatries, the way that the system is set up is that we idolize it to the point that we're willing to kill each other, you know, for it. And now we're at the point where they're convincing us that we don't even need physical money, that we can just get cryptocurrency, and then that's equal to actual money. So you've gone from actual gold and silver in your hand to something that you can't even touch, that's on the internet, that's in the computer. What if the computer goes down? Then what are you going to do? You're going to talk about how much cryptocurrency, you know, you got. I'm just really trying to encourage us to do some critical thinking. And so I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to, like I said, upload. I don't know if that made it on the thing either. So when I finish this, I'll upload the episode. I haven't seen the after show, so I don't, but if I see something that needs to be put up, then I'll do a bonus. And thank you for your time and attention, guys, and take care, and I'll talk to you, you know, on the next video.